Hi. Isabel Baumfree was born on the estate of Colonel Hardenberg, who bought her family from slave traders. Isabel was one of 10 or 12 children born between 1797 and 1800 in the Dutch community of Ulster County, New York. Dutch was her first language until she was 9 years old. After Charles Hardenberg died, Belle was sold at an auction at 9 years old to John Neely. He was abusive and beat her because of her inability to speak English. She was then sold to a tavern keeper who kept her for 18 months. When Belle was 13, she was sold to her last master, John Dumont, who raped her continuously, causing friction between her and his wife. At 18, she marries another enslaved man. She gives birth to 5 children, but one of them is Dumont's, and she is still very much under his control. In 1826, Dumont had promised to give Belle her freedom, but reneged at the last minute. His lack of respect, in essence, freed her, as she decided she was going to escape with her baby Sophia. She couldn't take the rest as they weren't hers to take. She ran to abolitionists Isaac and Maria Waganen, who bought her freedom for $20. Dumont sold her young son Peter, and with the help of the Waganens, Isabel sued for his return. She was the very first African American to win a case like this against a white man. She began some soul searching, as it were, on a spiritual level, as she raised her family. On June 1st, 1843, she changed her name to Sojourner because she heard God tell her to speak the truth and preach about abolishing slavery. She packed a few belongings and then headed north. She dictates her memoirs, and they are published in 1850, the narrative of Sojourner Truth, Northern Slave. She lived off her earnings and was able to buy a home. In 1851, she delivers her famous "Ain't I a Woman" speech to the Ohio Women's Rights Convention. Sojourner was fearless when speaking, even when audience members showed their dislike. During one speech, she wasn't afraid to say, "Man is so selfish that he has got woman's rights and his own too, and yet he won't give women their rights. He keeps them all to himself." She spends the next 20 years or so speaking or working at a variety of venues featuring human rights activists, equal rights as well as anti-slavery. She helps recruit black troops for the Union Army during the Civil War. And in 1864, she is invited to the White House by Abraham Lincoln. She wanted people who were enslaved to receive land so they could live and prosper, and fought for it. She continued to work for equality and moved to Battle Creek, Michigan, where she was joined by her 2 daughters until she died on November 26, 1883. In Boston, 1871, she argued women's rights were imperative for the benefit of the whole creation, not only the women, but all the men on the face of the earth, for they were the mother of them.